as you can see, the tables that we were looking at, right? So if you look at this, this is kind of a structure that is the fact table is in the middle and the center, and the dimension tables are kind of surrounding the fact table. And this kind of structure looks like the star. So the star schema is called so because the diagram representing it resembles a star, with the fact table in the center and dimension tables radiating outwards from it. So basically, this structure is, or this schema, we call it as a schema. Different tables joining together, as in this particular form, is called as a schema. This is a star schema. So there's nothing much fancy in terms of star schema. It's just a symbol, or just a pictorial representation, or how the entire joined tables look like. Okay, they are just looking like a star, so that's why they have named it simply as star schema. All right, so we will be doing this demonstration a bit in a bit in some time. So before we do the demonstration, I also wanted to show you the other schema which we use in Power BI. So majority of the times the star schema is used, like around 80 to 90% of the times we almost see only the star schema, while in some cases we also see this the schema called Snowflake schema. Okay, so if you look at these four tables, right? If you just look at these four tables, okay, these four tables that we already discussed in the previous slides, right? These are the same four tables, which is the star schema. But then there is a new table, which is again a dimension table, right? This is another dimension table, which is a new table called locations. Okay, if you look at locations, that is joined to customers table. And you can see there's a new location ID in place. So this location ID and this location ID is joined there. So basically what we are doing is we are joining another dimension table to a dimension table, right? In the earlier case, what happened in the star schema, we are keeping fact table in the center and all those dimension tables are joined to the fact table. But in this Snowflake schema, we are making a join between a dimension table and another dimension table, because we might have more information about a customer. We might have more information about a product, right? Product sub product category, or a product subcategory, right? Here in this case, a customers table and a locations table. So we might have another dimension table, sometimes relied on a customers table, right? That's why you can see there's a location ID here, and that's why we have joining it. So in this case, this structure looks like a Snowflake. If you look at this, this is how Snowflake looks like this structure, the Snowflake is like, there's a join. If you look at this, the join to this. So like this keeps on going. Okay. So it's like a dimension table joined to another dimension table, and this is a fact table. So it has been termed as a Snowflake schema. It just looks like that when there are too many dimensions table, right? So we have another dimension table which is joined into items table, and then dates table, right? And so on. So as it is extending, right? It is extending like that. Again, the fact table is in the center. Okay. So the structure looks like a Snowflake schema. So this has been termed as a Snowflake schema. That's all. So as we have already learned the process of bringing the sheets, right, or the process of getting the data in the previous sessions. So we're going to quickly get a couple of those tables, right? So I'm going to just go to desktop, and I'm going to just bring in the data model. So here we have multiple sheets, right? I'm just interested in this sales, items, dates, customers, right? So I'm just pulling it. Rather, I can go to the transform data. I can do a lot of changes over there. And also I can simply, already they are formatted. You can see the change type has been applied automatically. So need not worry. So I'm going to jump straight into the next step. Okay. So most of the times you can see there is automatically a join happening in between these tables, because there is an extra step which is available already in the settings to identify these relationships when the changes are applied. So it will look for the common keys, like common IDs, and then try to make a relationship without even we creating any relationships. So automatically the relationship has been taken here. Let us go and see. As you can see, I have not done any relationship, right? I have not made these joins, but system has generated. If you go to the file and options and settings, And then we have something called data load, right? So auto detect new relationships after data is loaded. So if this is unchecked, that wouldn't have done automatic joins. But that is fine. I can keep it checked, but rather I can still delete the joins from here because I wanted to manually create those joins. Okay. What we learned so far, like we have learned, denormalization, normalization, and we understood that most of the times the normalized tables are given to us. Like all we need to do is we need to identify what are the dimension tables, what are the fact tables. So already we have identified this. This is a fact table, sales table, and the other dimension tables, right? So I'm now going to create a data model, right? I'm going to create a relationship between these tables. So I'm going to keep the sales table in the center, and I'm going to just arrange like this, like customers, whatever fashion. Let me keep it this way. Okay. So I'm going to quickly make a join this with the fact table and dimension table. There are multiple ways to create a join. The simplest way is to simply drag and drop. Item ID can drag and drop and placed on item ID. So this will create a join between items table and sales table, and the join is between item ID and item ID. That is one way of creating a join. The other way of creating a join is click on manage relationships on the top, right? And simply go to this window which comes here. All you need to do is create a new join. So when you create a new relationship, so it can be called as a join or create a relationship. So you need to give the tables. Let's say I wanted to create a join between dates table and my sales table. So I'll select the dates table and I'll select my sales table and simply select date ID and date ID, right? And automatically you see something is coming up, like there's a cardinality and there's a cross filter direction. We'll talk about that. So cardinality is kind of a relationship between dates table and the sales table. So ideally the cardinality should be here, one to many. We'll understand that in a while. Okay. Click on OK and close. Okay. And you might have noticed there is a automatically the cross filter direction was set up to both, but ideally it should be single. And we'll also discuss more on what is single direction, what is both direction in some time. Okay. So another way of creating a join is again manage relationships the same way. New, I wanted to create a join between my customers table and my sales table. Simply customer ID and customer ID is automatically selected, and there is a option you can see check mark is automatically selected. Make this relationship active. So we'll also talk about that in a while. Click on OK. Now close. So either we can simply drag and drop between those IDs, which will create a relationship. Rather, you can go to manage relationships and create a join. So now I have successfully created a star schema or a proper data model. That's all. So like we were discussing a bit more on the locations table, right? Okay. So what if I wanted to get the locations table into my place, right? So I need to make sure I'm using the right data set. So I'll bring in the locations table first. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just quickly get my workbook locations table. I'm going to my transform data so that I'm making sure if there is any issue with my columns, I can just set it up. So I can see there's no issue with my, rather I can rename the locations table, right? The locations table. But before I move on, I know that the customers table that I am pulling doesn't have the location ID column. Rather, I've created a location ID column in another sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to browse for that new sheet, which is actually in the download section. Okay, this is the file. So now this table has got a location ID column in my customers table. So I'm going to refresh it. You can see the location ID. I'm going to make sure this is also a whole number. Now click on close and apply. Automatically the join has been taking place. Okay, because you saw that right already, that options. If you can turn it off, this will not happen. But that's fine. So anyways, I wanted to join the same thing. I wanted to join this location ID, the location ID to this location ID, which is automatically taken care. right? So now you can see this is what is this Snowflake schema, right? A dimension table is joined to another dimension table. It's a Snowflake schema, right? It is as simple as that.